Hello, I'm Adrian, and today we're taking a tour through my Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus Rex collection. We start off with the young T Rex from Kenner. What was remarkable about their figures is the material they used to make them. Instead of just using hard plastic, they were mostly made of rubber, giving them a lifelike feel and allowing for incredibly detailed sculpts. And this leads us straight into one of the best T Rex figures ever made, the gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex from Kenner, with its color scheme based on Michael Crichton's original novel. What you can immediately tell is just how accurate the sculpt is to Jurassic Park's Rex, and that is because Kenner used the actual miniatures from Stan Winston's special effects department to make the sculpt of their figure. Its size towers over all the other figures in the Jurassic Park line, and to this day it remains one of the most sought after figures. You can make him open and close his mouth by pressing on his neck, and it also featured a great roaring sound effect. This little guy is based on the infant T-Rex from The Lost World. What was unique about it is that you could quote unquote break its leg like it did in the movie and then put it back together using the little plastic cast, which I fortunately did not lose. The Thrasher T-Rex was one of the two main Rexes for the Lost World toy line, and it was once again modeled closely after Stan Winston's work. You can tell how accurate it is to the Rex in the film, and I always like the cool thrashing motion it would do if you move the tail. The jaw is also built in a way where it can snap shut. Bull T-Rex was the other T-Rex released for the Lost World, and it is absolutely gigantic. It has a lower crouching posture, but the figure remains a formidable and imposing presence. It features glass green eyes that give the effect that they follow you wherever you go, a really cool color scheme inspired by the film, and its biggest feature was that it could literally eat any figure from the toy line and you could retrieve said figures from its belly. This is a good opportunity to take a closer look at the JP logo on the side, something that would remain a mainstay in the Jurassic Park line for quite some time. His jaw is massive, and he also has really cool unique details like chipped teeth and loads of unique scales scattered across his body. An incredibly well-made figure and one of the all-time greats. By the time we get to Jurassic Park 3, Kenner was no longer making the figures, and Hasbro took a shot at it. The results were a bit mixed to say the least, as the figures were now made of hard plastic instead of mostly rubber, but almost all of them had unique movement and sound features. The React Attack Rex could both roar as well as emit a damage sound depending on what button or trigger you'd press. This T-Rex is actually half of a fantastic battle game set that features twisty knob turning action, a huge genre of fighting toys back in the day, and it got a lot of playtime with my brother and I. Hasbro did release a more premium version of the earlier React Attack T-Rex featuring a more detailed sculpt and much larger size. The color scheme is quite accurate to the film, with black tiger stripes, a green overall tone, along with brown highlights scattered across the figure. I recently got this LEGO T-Rex figure secondhand, so I have no idea from what exact line it is, but I figured I'd include it since it's a Jurassic Park Rex. This statue was released as part of a collector's edition of the Blu-ray release of the original Jurassic Park trilogy. This was before the Jurassic World film was even released. It features a male T-Rex bursting through the classic Jurassic Park gates. Hasbro's last shot at making Jurassic Park toys did not go very well, as most of the figures in the Jurassic World line featured incredibly odd proportions and sculpts. Although you got to give them credit for trying to make the classic JP logo work with a new JW initial, but not much else can be said about this figure that's very positive. Similar to the earlier statue, this statue was released as part of a set of two commemorating the epic fight between the T-Rex and the Indominus for the special Blu-ray release of Jurassic World. Although not explicitly named in the packaging, this was meant to be Mattel's take on the male T-Rex from The Lost World, sometimes referred to as Buck after Roland Tembo's epic line in the film. It's much smaller than the classic Kenner figure, but the sculpt is still quite good, and I like the extreme roaring action that would open his jaws extra wide. He also has some extra articulation in the neck, allowing for dynamic poses depending on what height you place him at. Mattel has gone on to release many variations of the T-Rex, and what caught my attention of this one was its pretty cool double action feature. Not only can you make the Rex whip its tail, you could also press a button to make it close its jaws and turn its head over to the side, giving it a highly dynamic and unique chomping action. Besides Mattel, other companies have taken a shot at making high-end T-Rex figures based on Jurassic Park's design, and one of them is Nanmu. I very much enjoyed the silhouette and pose of this figure, and I feel the color scheme matches almost identical to the way the Rex looks in The Lost World as well as Jurassic Park 3. For the release of Jurassic World Dominion, Mattel launched the Thrash and Devour T Rex, which shared certain elements of the Thrasher T Rex from Kenner as well as a Bull T Rex, as this T-Rex had a thrashing motion you could use in tandem with its tail, and its larger jaws could technically grasp several of the figures in the line as well as the smaller dinosaurs. It may not be able to eat them whole, but it was a cool callback to Kenner's line. This is one of my favorite T-Rex statues of all time, and it's almost a one-to-one replica of the male T-Rex from The Lost World by Nanmu. It's got an incredibly cool menacing pose as he overlooks his kingdom from a high-rise rock. The sculpt looks like something I'd expect if Stan Winston himself worked on it, and the attention to detail is truly astounding, to the perfectly sculpted and colored teeth and jaws to the menacing eyes and brows. a truly excellent and groundbreaking T Rex statue that remains top of its class. Yes, he's tiny, but I still appreciate how well Mattel captured the feel of Jurassic Park's Rex with this fun little toy that can bend its tail and grip pretty well. Which brings us to the most highly detailed and well sculpted T-Rex figure Mattel has ever released in their line. And this is not just recency bias talking. Not only does it feature a completely brand new sculpt to match the new look of the Rex in the film, the teeth are extra detailed and finely modeled, the brows look incredibly aggressive, the neck has great rotating action, the chomping feature is just as good as it's been in other figures, and I really like the addition of the scoots lining the top of his back. I really would have liked if they made the figure closer in tone to how he appears in the film, which seems to be a greener color rather than brown, but even so, this is an awesome T-Rex. And now for some fun comparison shots. Here you can see the main Rexes from Jurassic Park 1, 2, and 3, as well as Jurassic World, Jurassic World Dominion, and Jurassic World Rebirth. And if you're wondering out of all the figures which are my favorites, well, they are the Kenner Bull T-Rex, the Red T-Rex, and the Lab Lockdown T-Rex. The Lab Lockdown T-Rex really is something else and looks like an articulated high-end statue in the best possible way. The Kenner figures still remain close to my heart, as not only are they incredibly well made and imposing figures to this day, 32 years after their release. The Red T-Rex was a birthday gift from my mom, so she is the one who started my entire Jurassic Park T-Rex collection with this figure when I was a kid. So how do they look when they're all placed together? Well, something like this. It was so much fun delving into my Jurassic Park T-Rex collection, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and if you'd like to see more T-Rex content, I've got plenty of it on my channel, from a 3D battle featuring T-Rex and Spinosaurus to in-depth documentaries, as well as a fun video where I literally got to ask Steven Spielberg about the T-Rex versus Spinosaurus battle. I've got dozens of other T-Rex figures that are not in the Jurassic Park line, so let me know if you'd like to see that collection too. Thanks so much for watching, remember to subscribe for more awesome content, and see you next time. I'd like to thank each one of my Patreon members as their contribution helped in the making of this video. If you'd like to contribute and appear in the credits in the future, my Patreon page is Godzilla Rex, and it's in the description below.